very quickly discuss the fast. So the Asara Be'Tevet commemorates the day that the Babylonians besieged the Beit HaMikdash, which eventually led to its destruction around 3 years later, in the year 589 before the Common Era. It's actually, the story inside is much more depressing of what our ancestors did. And I'll read 3 psukim in Yirmiyahu that summarize more than 3 psukim, but that summarize the whole thing. Yirmiyahu Perek Lamed Aleph Pasuk Yud Bet. Vahi Devar Adonai Yirmiyahu Me'et Adonai Emor. This was the word of Hashem that came to Yirmiyahu saying, I made a covenant with your forefathers on the day that I took them out of Egypt, from house of being slaves, to say, we made a covenant. Part of the covenant included that you can't have slaves. You have a slave for 6 years, you let them free on the 7th year. You don't keep them longer. But your forefathers didn't listen, didn't obey this rule, and kept slaves for much longer. So what was Yirmiyahu talking about? At this time period, what led to this besiegement of Yerushalayim were issues of the Jewish people ourselves. Our ancestors, they stopped with their observance of Shabbat, they stopped with their observance of the mitzvot. They even to the point where they would have slaves, Jewish slaves, and they wouldn't free them after 6 years. The basic psukim we learn in the Torah that we think, they always would keep, they wouldn't do it, they kept slaves forever. And he says, and you didn't listen to me. But tashuvu etem hayom v'ta'asu et hayashar be'enai likro deror ish l're'eu v'tichretu berit lefanai b'bayit asher nikra shemi alav. Then what happened today? You repented and did what is just in my eyes. For every man to proclaim freedom for his fellow, and you seal the covenant before me in the temple upon which my name was proclaimed. So what happened? When they saw their demise was coming to an end, Tzidkiyahu said, guys, we have to fix our ways. And all of Am Yisrael together said, you know what? Let's do it. We repented, we did teshuvah. They freed all their slaves that they had against halakha, against the Torah, they kept. And then what happened? After the Babylonians left, Batashuvu v'tachelelu et shemi. But then you went back and you desecrated my name. Unbelievable. Batashivu ish et avdo v'ish et shifchato. And you brought back those slaves you just freed, and those midwives or those bondswomen whom you just sent forth, they're free on their own, and you subjugated them to be bondsmen and bondswomen for you. V'tichveshu atam liot lachem la'abadim v'lishvachot. They did the opposite of teshuvah. They had the opportunity. They saw the destruction of the Yerushalayim at their hands. They did teshuvah. Hashem gifted them. He gave them freedom, and right away they went back and the opposite of teshuvah, they brought back their slaves, and unfortunately that's what led to one of the causes to the besiegement of Yerushalayim Asara Be'Tevet, which 3 years later led to the destruction of Beit HaMikdash. It's an important lesson that we're not just fasting for fun to lose some weight. Chas v'shalom, we're fasting. The primary part of the fast isn't the long tefillah. The part of the fast isn't just to mumble extra words in the tachanun. The part of the fast is to look into ourselves and fix our ways. See what our forefathers did wrong, learn from those mistakes, and adapt those to our lives. Do teshuvah, mean the teshuvah, and have an everlasting teshuvah. That way Hashem will give us beracha, and we'll see all the miracles in our generation. Have a wonderful day. Shabbat shalom. Again, tonight the fast ends 5:06 p.m. Very promptly, all the minim will end, and we'll go home right away. We don't fast into Shabbat unnecessarily. So 5:06 on the dot, you get home, do kiddush, don't stall, don't do anything, don't delay. I don't know. Is that what we do? But whatever, do it quickly. Chazak Baruch.